Hello everyone, I'm Lyriclee and welcome to What's on Your Mind mini podcast. This will be the first episode. This is pretty much going to be like an insight to my mental health journey. Just a short brief introduction. I'm a visual creator, content creator. I work in photography, film, video production, anything fine arts. So in this space I'll just be dumping pretty much my feelings and some of my embarrassments that I go through either daily, weekly. So I hope I can get some feedback from you guys and connect with some of you. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. All right, so I feel like being a caretaker has broken my personality. That's the topic for today. I feel like my anxiety has me in a chokehold when I'm in rooms full of people that have established accolades in their field and career. So let me tell you why. I feel like it's going to come full circle, okay? So what made me decide to start this podcast and start this topic at hand, I was in on an app pretty much, and in this app you can converse with different people around the world pretty much on whatever topic, subject, field that you most desire. Pretty much they make these rooms for you to, connect with people. And it's pretty much you could say it's like a podcast, and there's people on stage, or like a convention, people are on stage and you're in the audience just listening, but the people on stage can literally ask you to come on. So you can verbally speak out loud and everybody who's in the room can hear you. Now let me tell you something. I choked when I was offered to come on stage with the group conversation, and I personally felt like I choked. I barely said my name right. Honestly, it's just Lyriclee. It's just Lyriclee. I barely said my name right, and I stuttered here and there a couple of times. Yeah, man, thinking about it now, even though it happened maybe some nights ago, thinking about it now makes my spine crawl. It's like watching someone lick a toilet. That's how I feel. I am cringed out by the idea. It haunts me. It makes my ass itch, is what I'm trying to say. It makes my ass itch when I think about it. The embarrassment, and to be frank, I mean, of course, the people that was in the room, the people that was on stage, of course they could care less, and it was okay for them. But for me, my anxiety put me in a chokehold. So that whole conversation went downhill. Even when I was on mute, everybody was talking, and I was just like, oh, your name is Lyriclee. Your name is Kunta Kinte. Your name is Toby. I was in there. I was like, you can't even say your name right, babes. Are you ready? Are you ready to converse with people? Huh? This is the career you want, and you can barely speak your name? How embarrassing. Aren't you embarrassed? That's embarrassing. Okay? I was just terrified. You would have thought I was a child. I was waiting for somebody to send me back to my corner, honey. You know how they say children are meant to be seen and not heard? Honey, I felt like I was the child. And mind you, these people could care less. They probably didn't even notice They understand. But to me beating myself up, when I beat myself up, honey, I'm putting myself in a coma about this, okay? I'm knocking TKOing myself out, okay? It's terrible. So, what made me like think about this more, like, at one point I was a woman that could stand in the room and have conversation and converse with people and stand in it. My personality was on check, baby. I threw a few jokes here and there back in my day. So what happened? What turned? What made me how can I say, fumble the ball, fumble my name? I slowly realized that I'm lacking some confidence, you know? That's strange. That's new. That never happened before. Who is that? I haven't recognized that since I was 8. So I had to sit back and think about it. And I think it's because I've been a caretaker for about 6 years. And around those 6 years, it was around the important times of my life. You know, those stages where you're supposed to network. You get out of college and now you're in your field. Now you have to network with the people around you, your peers, get in those rooms and hustle and bustle. No, not me. I was taking care of someone. I was social distancing before social distance was a thing. Before the panoramic came around, I was in my home. I went to work and back home. Back to work to back home. That was my routine, baby, and I did it for 6 years. Um don't get me wrong. I had a little bootang here and there. You feel me, a little razzle dazzle. However, that didn't help me socially. I mean, they already knew me, so I didn't have to make eye contact or, introduce myself because they knew me already. They had that understanding of who I was. I didn't have to pitch myself to these people, my friends and my family, and that special boo thing. No, not at all. So unknowingly, I trapped myself into a routine that became my. It was a lack of reality, I would say. I wasn't present to anything. Um, Pretty much life other than taking care of someone and work was just that. Um, uh, how can I say this? I doing that, I lost some social cues. Like I lost, just the bare basics. Um and low key in that realm of just gearing in, focusing on one thing and not trying to multitask, I end up creating and committing social suicide. My personality suffered. My networking suffered. Everything suffered. But I mean, not to get I will do it over again. I just would be more aware of my situation. I set myself up. I wouldn't say for failure, but for a setback socially. Um. So yeah, personally, now I have to re-image myself and become more self-aware of who I am. I knew who I was when I was 20, 21, 22, 23, but between 24 and 29, hmm, I was a caretaker. That was my introduction. Yeah, I did some photography on the side. Yeah, I made some films here and there, minute films, but other than that, everything circled back to me being a caretaker. You know how people talk about losing themselves in a relationship with their lovers, or but I legit lost myself being a daughter. I knew I had to take care of a parent, and that was that. Um, it wasn't no traveling. It wasn't no anything. And we could say that me falling into being a caretaker has not only I would say messed up my social cues, but it leaves me at an identity crisis. It's like, who are you, girl? Are you more than just being like a photographer or visual creator, or artist? What else? What about you? Um, and so yeah, while I was in that room or space full of wonderful creators in my field, who had accolades that will make your heart flutter, when they say, "Oh, and I worked on this and I did this," and then you like, okay, you check on their profile and then you can look up their name and it's legit. Now it's like, oh, what place do I have? Around the times where everybody else was doing this and getting their accolades, I was busy doing something else that wasn't even in my field. It wasn't my choice. It wasn't my idea of a career or growing as a person. So, while being in those settings and in that room, I figured, like, man, I have to convince myself that I'm worth being in these spaces. I have to convince myself again that I know what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, that I shouldn't, fall into shambles. When somebody calls me on stage to introduce myself and talk to a crowd of people. So yeah, you guys. So this is pretty much what the podcast is going to be about. It's just going to be about my journey, stepping into my how can I say this, mental health, and focusing and gearing on my career. Some would say that I'm a little late to the party, but I just have to keep people entertained. I don't, you know, it's hard to digest sometimes when like, man, all that time, which is well spent time. Do not get me wrong. I would do it again. It's just that you fall into the matrix. You fall into like something that's not real, like a reality that's not, excuse me, that's not, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it's pretty much the matrix. I'm in this world of just focusing on one thing and end up harming uh my future. I wouldn't say harm my future. Let me take that back. It's not harming. It's just, you have to realize that you taken some steps back instead of forward. And yet you can learn again. And this is me talking to myself. Yet I'm learning all over again how to become the person that I once was, but 10 times better. Uh, I have to realize that I'm worth my own time. I have to have patience for myself, even when I mess up. Because, again, honey, you talking about beating somebody up bad, it's me. Forget what everybody else is thinking. Lyriclee is out here tearing Lyriclee up. She put her in the hospital, okay? Mentally, she is beating herself up. Oh my goodness. It's just terrible. Just terrible. So, yeah. Just again, this is what the podcast is about. And I hope you guys can connect with me and, comment and talk about topics and subjects that most don't speak about. And hopefully, you guys can get to know me better while I'm getting to know myself. Um, yeah. So I want to just thank you guys for listening. And I have a question for you guys before I go. What do you do when you have nerves? Like when you're in a setting where you don't have a safety net. So, what I mean about a safety net is probably like a person that you know in the room, or a subject or topic that you know in your field. What do you do with your nerves? How do you calm down your nerves when you're in a setting where you may have to speak, or you're in a big crowd, or just amongst people that you do not know? Let me know in the comments below. um Again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening, those who are listening. Again, if you guys have topics or subjects you want me to talk about, or experiences that you guys have been through and you want to just talk about those and be open, this is a safe space. Again, I'm talking about my personal mental health journey. um I never even gave you guys the resolution of what I'm going to do next about this, though. I'll probably let you guys know a little later. Right now, I'm still trying to figure these things out. I just realized I had an issue. I mean, I went in there like, oh, I know what I'm talking about, baby. But when it came down to it, she was shaking in her boots. Baby girl was sweating bullets. Okay? You would have thought I was a track star. Okay? I was out here. Man, losing, taking big L's personally. Personally, I would say it was a L. Other people be like, "Girl, you was okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. I guess your expectations are really, really high." So again, I want to thank you guys for coming to my channel and watching. I will try to have a podcast placed every Sunday or Friday. So please make sure you subscribe, click that notification button, make sure that you like and comment. This has been What's on Your Mind mini podcast. I've been your host, Lyriclee. Thank you. God bless. Selah.